The warning sirens screamed through the halls of the new horizon like angry metal birds. Minho dropped his wrench and looked up from the broken water recycler he was fixing. The lights in the maintenance tunnel flickered red, then white, then red again. "This is Captain Taehyung speaking to all crew and passengers," came the voice from the speakers above. "We are under attack. Please move to your assigned safe rooms immediately. This is not a drill." Minho wiped the grease from his hands with a dirty cloth. He had been working in the lower decks of the colony ship for 3 hours, trying to fix the water system that kept breaking down. The new horizon was old and everything on it needed constant repair. 50,000 people lived on this ship, traveling through space to find a new home on a distant planet. It was his job to keep the machines running so they could all survive the long journey. The ship shook hard, throwing Minho against the metal wall. Somewhere far above, he could hear the sound of explosions. His heart started beating fast. He grabbed his tool bag and ran toward the nearest elevator, but it was not working. The red lights were flashing and the door would not open. More explosions came from above. The ship shook again, harder this time. Dust fell from the ceiling onto his head. Minho knew he had to get to the safe rooms, but first he needed to check the main power lines in this section. If they were damaged, thousands of people could lose air and heat. He ran down the corridor to the power room. The heavy door was already open, which was strange. As he got closer, he heard voices speaking in a language he did not know. The voices sounded angry and rough, not like the soft way humans spoke to each other. Minho stopped and listened. Through the open door, he could see tall figures moving around inside the power room. They were not human. Their skin was gray and hard like rock, and they had 4 arms each. These must be the aliens that everyone feared, the Valeth Empire. They took what they wanted from human ships and killed everyone else. The aliens were placing small black boxes on the power cables. Minho knew what those were. Bombs that would destroy the ship's power and leave everyone to die in the cold darkness of space. He had to stop them, but he was just one man with a bag of tools. He was about to turn and run to get help when he heard something that made his blood freeze. It was the sound of a child crying. Minho looked around the corner and saw them. In the next room, which grew food for the ship, 2 Valeth soldiers were pointing their energy weapons at a woman and a little girl. The woman had long black hair and was wearing the green uniform of the farming crew. She was holding the child close to her chest, trying to protect her with her own body. "Please," the woman was saying in a shaking voice. "She is just a child. Take me, but let her go." One of the aliens made a sound like angry metal grinding together. Minho could see the energy building up in their weapons, getting ready to fire. In a few seconds, both the woman and the child would be dead. Minho did not think. He just ran. He burst through the door into the farming room, shouting as loud as he could. "Hey, over here!" The aliens turned toward him, surprised. For a moment, their weapons pointed away from the woman and child. The woman looked at him with wide, frightened eyes. She was young, maybe his age, with a kind face that was now full of fear. The little girl in her arms could not be more than 8 years old. She had the same eyes as her mother, but they were red from crying. "Run!" Minho shouted to them. "Get to the safe room!" But there was nowhere to run. The aliens had moved to block the exit. Now all 3 humans were trapped together. The largest alien pointed his weapon at Minho and made more of those grinding sounds. The other alien pointed his weapon back at the woman and child. Minho could see the energy building up in both weapons. They were both going to fire at the same time. No. Minho threw himself forward, spreading his arms wide. He put his body between the aliens and the woman and child, covering them as much as he could. "Suyong, cover Hana," he shouted, not knowing why he knew their names. The alien weapons fired. 2 beams of pure energy, hot as the center of a star, hit Minho in the chest and back. The pain was beyond anything he had ever felt. It was like being struck by lightning and burned in fire at the same time. He could smell his own skin burning. His vision went white, then black, then white again, but he did not fall down. Minho stood there, his body smoking and glowing with strange blue light. The energy from the alien weapons was flowing through him like water through a pipe. But instead of killing him, it seemed to be changing him. He could feel it moving under his skin, making his bones stronger and his muscles faster. The alien stepped back, making sounds of fear and confusion. They fired again, and again the energy flowed through Minho without killing him. His whole body was glowing now, bright blue like the heart of an electric storm. Behind him, he heard the woman, Suyong, gasp in amazement. "How is this possible?" she whispered. Minho did not know either. All he knew was that the energy felt good now, like drinking cold water when very thirsty. He raised his hands toward the aliens and blue lightning danced between his fingers. "Leave," he said, his voice deeper and stronger than before. "Leave now, or I will show you what this human can do." The aliens looked at each other, then at Minho's glowing hands. They made quick clicking sounds and ran toward the exit. But as they reached the door, it slammed shut. Emergency bulkheads had sealed the section. Minho walked to the environmental controls and put his glowing hand on the panel. Power flowed from him into the system, and he filled the room with sleeping gas. The aliens fell to the floor unconscious in seconds. Then the energy left him all at once, and Minho collapsed. The last thing he saw before the darkness took him was Su-young's face, full of wonder and fear and something else he could not name. She was holding her daughter Hana, and they were both alive. He had saved them. Somehow, impossibly, he had saved them both. Minho opened his eyes to the soft white lights of the medical center. His whole body felt different, like he was wearing clothes that did not quite fit. When he tried to sit up, Dr. Jiwoo gently pushed him back down onto the bed. "Easy there," the doctor said, looking at her tablet with worried eyes. "You have been sleeping for 3 days. Your body has been through something very strange." "The woman and the child," Minho said quickly. His voice sounded different too, deeper and with a slight echo. "Are they safe?" "So-young and Hana are fine," Dr. Jiwoo said. "They have been here every day waiting for you to wake up. That little girl has drawn you about 50 pictures." She pointed to the wall, which was covered with crayon drawings of a man shooting blue lightning from his hands. Minho looked at his own hands. They looked normal, but when he moved his fingers, he could see tiny blue sparks dancing under his skin. "What happened to me?" Dr. Jiwoo sat down in the chair next to his bed. She had been the ship's doctor for 10 years, and she had seen many strange things in space, but nothing like this. "We ran every test we have," she said. "Your body absorbed the energy from those alien weapons and changed. Your bones are different now. They have crystal formations in them that can store power. Your nervous system has new pathways that should not exist. You are still human, but you are also something else." "Something else," Minho repeated. He could feel the energy moving through his body like warm water in his veins. It felt good, but also frightening. "Am I dangerous?" "I do not think so," Dr. Jiwoo said. "But I do not really know. This has never happened before." She showed him the scans on her tablet. His skeleton glowed blue in the X-ray images, and his brain showed new electrical patterns that looked like lightning frozen in time. The door to the medical room opened, and Su-young came in carrying a cup of coffee. She stopped when she saw that Minho was awake, and her face lit up with relief. "You are awake," she said, setting down her coffee and hurrying to his bedside. "We were so worried." Minho looked at her properly for the first time. She was pretty, with intelligent eyes and a kind smile. Her hands were stained green from working with plants, and she smelled like fresh soil and growing things. Something about her made the energy in his body feel calm and warm. "Thank you," she said quietly, "for saving us. For saving Hana. Anyone would have done the same," Minho said. Su-young shook her head. "No, they would not have. And no one else could have survived what you did." She looked at his hands where the blue light was still flickering under his skin. "How do you feel?" "Different," Minho said honestly. "Like I am more than I was before, but also like I might lose myself in all this power." Dr. Jiwoo's tablet started beeping with an emergency signal. She looked at it and her face went pale. "Captain Taehyung wants to see all 3 of us right away. Something is wrong." They made their way to the bridge, where Captain Taehyung was standing in front of the big screen that showed the space around their ship. He was a good captain, strong and calm, but now he looked tired and worried. "The attack 3 days ago was just the beginning," he told them. "Our long-range sensors have picked up a massive Valith fleet heading our way. 200 ships, maybe more. They will be here in 3 weeks," Su-young grabbed Minho's arm. "Can we outrun them?" "No," the captain said. "Our engines were damaged in the first attack. We are limping along at half speed.
The only chance we have is to reach Kepler Station before they catch us."
"The human military base there has weapons that can protect us. Will we make it?" Minho asked. Captain Taehyung was quiet for a long moment. "I do not know. It will be very close." He looked at Minho with curious eyes. "Dr. Jiwoo has told me about your new abilities. We might need your help." "I will do whatever I can," Minho said. Over the next week, Minho worked with the engineering team to help repair the ship. He found that he could touch the broken power systems and feed energy into them, making them work better than they ever had before. Chief Engineer Dongwu was amazed at how easily Minho could fix things that should have taken days to repair. But the more he used his powers, the more he changed. His eyes began to glow with a soft blue light all the time. His skin became smoother and took on a metallic shine. He needed less food and less sleep than before. Sometimes he would stand perfectly still for minutes at a time, and when people asked him what he was doing, he would say he was listening to the energy flowing through the ship. Su-young visited him every day while he worked. She brought Hana with her, and the little girl would sit nearby and draw more pictures while the adults talked. Hana was not afraid of Minho's glowing eyes or the sparks that sometimes jumped between his fingers. To her, he was just the lightning man who had saved her and her mother. "Are you still you?" Su-young asked him one day as they watched Hana play with some of the other children in the recreation area. Minho thought about this for a long time. "I think so," he said finally. "But sometimes I feel like I am becoming something bigger than just one person. Like I am connected to all the energy in the universe. It scares me." "What scares you most about it?" she asked. "That I might forget why I wanted to save you and Hana in the first place," he said. "That I might become so powerful that I stop caring about people." Su-young took his hand. Her touch was warm and soft, and it made the wild energy in his body settle down and feel peaceful. "I will not let you forget," she said. "Hana and I will remind you who you are." That night, alarms started ringing again. Minho ran to the observation deck and saw small Valith ships approaching fast. They had found the new horizon earlier than expected. "They are scouting ships," Captain Taehyung announced over the speakers. "Getting ready for the main attack. All crew to battle stations." The scout ships opened fire on the new horizon. The ship's shields held, but they were already weak from the earlier damage. Minho could feel the energy from the alien weapons hitting the hull, and his body started to glow brighter. "I have to get out there," he told Su-young. "It is too dangerous," she said, fear clear in her voice. "This is what I am now," Minho said. "This is why this happened to me. To protect people like you and Hana." Before she could stop him, he ran toward the airlock. It was time to find out what he could really do. Minho floated in the darkness of space, his body glowing like a blue star against the black. He did not need a spacesuit anymore. The energy inside him kept him warm and let him breathe somehow, though he did not understand how. The alien scout ships were firing at the new horizon, and he could feel every shot like it was hitting his own body. He flew toward the nearest scout ship, moving faster than any human should be able to move. When the aliens saw him coming, they turned their weapons on him. The energy beams hit him full force, but instead of hurting him, they made him stronger. He absorbed the power and sent it back at them in a blast of blue lightning that tore through their ship like paper. Inside the new horizon, Su-young watched through the observation window with her heart pounding. She held Hana close as they saw Minho destroy one alien ship, then another, then another. He moved through space like he was dancing, turning the enemy's own weapons against them. "Mommy, look how pretty the lightning man is," Hana said, pressing her small hands against the window. "He is like a shooting star." But Su-young could see what her daughter could not. Each time Minho used his powers, he glowed brighter and moved less like a human. When he finally returned to the ship, floating through the airlock like a ghost, his eyes were completely blue and his skin looked like polished metal. "Minho?" she said carefully as he landed on the deck. He turned to look at her, and for a moment she was not sure he recognized her. Then the blue glow in his eyes faded a little, and he smiled. "I am still me," he said, but his voice echoed strangely. Dr. Jiwoo ran more tests after the battle. She showed the results to Captain Taehyung and Chief Engineer Dongwoo in a private meeting. "He is changing faster now," she said. "Every time he uses his powers, he becomes less human and more something else. I do not know what he will be in a week or a month." "Is he dangerous?" Captain Taehyung asked. "I do not think so," Dr. Jiwoo said. "But he is becoming very powerful, more powerful than anything I have ever seen." Chief Engineer Dongwoo had been working with Minho to improve the ship's defenses. "He can boost our shields to 10 times their normal strength," he said. "And he fixed our main engine in 2 hours. Work that should have taken my whole team 2 weeks, but at what cost?" Dr. Jiwoo asked. "He told me yesterday that he sometimes forgets to breathe because he does not need to anymore. He can go for days without eating. His body temperature is dropping, but he does not feel cold. He is becoming something that is not human." Meanwhile, Su-young was learning about energy-based life forms in the ship's library. She read everything she could find about aliens that were made of pure energy instead of flesh and blood. Most of the reports said that these beings were very powerful, but did not care about individual lives. They thought in terms of planets and star systems, not people. The idea terrified her. Was Minho becoming one of these beings? Would he eventually stop caring about her and Hana? She found him in the engineering section, standing perfectly still with his hand on the main power core. Blue energy flowed between him and the machine like water. He had been standing there for 6 hours without moving. "Minho," she said softly. He did not answer at first. Then slowly he turned his head toward her. "Su-young," he said, and his voice sounded far away. "I can hear the ship singing. Every wire, every circuit. It is beautiful. Can you hear me singing too?" she asked. This made him focus on her properly. The blue glow in his eyes dimmed and he stepped away from the power core. "I am sorry," he said. "Sometimes I get lost in the energy. It is so much bigger than just me." "You scare me when you do that," she said honestly. "You seem like you are going away somewhere I cannot follow." Minho sat down on a nearby crate so he would be at eye level with her. "I scare myself too," he said. "I can feel myself changing, becoming something that might not care about human things anymore. But then I see you or I hear Hana laugh and I remember why I want to stay human." "What if that is not enough?" Su-young asked. "What if the power takes you away from us completely?" "Then you have to bring me back," Minho said. "Promise me. If I become something that does not care about people anymore, you have to find a way to remind me who I used to be." Before Su-young could answer, alarms started ringing throughout the ship. Captain Tai-hyung's voice came over the speakers. "All crew to emergency stations. The main Valith fleet has arrived. We are surrounded." They ran to the bridge where the main screen showed a terrifying sight. Hundreds of massive alien warships filled the space around them, each one 10 times bigger than the New Horizon. They hung in the darkness like metal mountains bristling with weapons. "They came faster than we expected," Captain Tae-hyung said grimly. "We are still 2 days away from Kepler Station. What are our options?" Dr. Ji-woo asked. "We have none," the captain said. "Our weapons cannot hurt ships that big, and our shields will not last 5 minutes against their firepower." Minho stepped forward. His whole body was starting to glow as the energy inside him responded to the danger. "I can stop them," he said. "How?" Captain Tae-hyung asked. "The same way I stopped the scout ships, but bigger. I can board their command ship and overload their power systems from the inside." "That is suicide," Su-young said. "Maybe," Minho said. "But if I can absorb enough energy from their ships, I might become powerful enough to disable their whole fleet." "And what happens to you?" she asked, though she was afraid of the answer. Minho was quiet for a long moment. "I do not know if there will be enough of me left to come back." Chief Engineer Dongwoo looked at the sensor readings. "They are powering up their weapons. We have maybe 10 minutes before they start shooting." Su-young grabbed Minho's arm. "There has to be another way." "There is not," he said gently. "This is what I was changed for, to protect people like you and Hana and everyone else on this ship." "But who will protect you?" she asked. Minho smiled, and for a moment he looked completely human again. "Maybe you will," he said. "If you can find me after this is over, maybe you can bring me home." The alien ships were moving into attack formation. Minho walked toward the airlock, his body glowing brighter with every step. Su-young followed him, her heart breaking. "I will come for you," she promised. "No matter what you become, I will find you and bring you back." Minho stepped into the airlock and looked back at her one last time. "Take care of Hana," he said, "and remember me as I am now, not as what I might become." Then he was gone, flying through space toward the massive alien fleet like a blue comet. Su-young watched him go, knowing that the man she was falling in love with might not survive what he was about to do. Minho flew through space toward the massive Valith command ship, his body blazing with blue energy. Behind him, the New Horizon looked small and fragile against the backdrop of hundreds of alien warships. He could feel the fear of 50,000 people pressing against his mind, and it gave him strength. The alien saw him coming and opened fire. Dozens of energy beams reached out toward him like angry red fingers. But instead of trying to dodge them, Minho spread his arms wide and let them hit him. Each blast made him stronger, adding to the power that was already changing him into something beyond human understanding. The command ship was the size of a small city, covered in weapons and armor that could destroy planets. Minho crashed through its hull like a meteor, tearing a hole in the metal and flying deep into the ship's interior. Alien soldiers rushed toward him, firing their weapons, but their energy only fed the storm that was building inside him. On the new horizon, So-young stood on the bridge watching the battle through the ship's sensors. Dr. Jiwoo was monitoring Minho's life signs, and what she saw made her face go pale. "His energy levels are off the charts," she said. "He is absorbing power faster than I thought was possible. But his human brain patterns are getting weaker." "What does that mean?" So-young asked, though she was afraid of the answer. "It means he is becoming pure energy," Dr. Jiwoo said quietly. "If this continues, there will be nothing left of the man we knew." On the main screen, they watched as the alien command ship's lights began to flicker. Then, one by one, the other Valeth ships started going dark as their power systems failed. Minho was somehow reaching across space and draining energy from the entire fleet. But with each ship he disabled, his own signal became less human and more like a force of nature. Inside the command ship, Minho floated in the main power core surrounded by crackling energy. He was no longer completely solid. His body shifted between human form and pure light, and his consciousness was expanding beyond anything a human mind was meant to contain. He could feel the fear of the alien crew as their ship died around them. He could sense every circuit, every wire, every spark of power in the hundreds of ships that surrounded him. The energy was beautiful and terrible, and it would be so easy to let himself become part of it forever. But then he heard something that cut through the storm in his mind. It was Hana's voice, small and frightened, calling his name. "Lightning Man," she was saying. "Please come back. Mommy is crying." So-young had taken her daughter to the communications room and was trying to reach Minho through the ship's radio.
Minho, can you hear me?
"You have to fight this. You have to remember who you are." Her voice was like an anchor in the chaos of power that threatened to sweep away everything he had ever been. Minho tried to focus on it, tried to remember what it felt like to be human, to care about individual people instead of just vast forces of energy. But it was getting harder. The power wanted him to let go, to become something greater and more terrible. He could feel his memories starting to fade. The smell of So-young's hair, the feel of Hana's small hand in his, the simple pleasure of fixing broken machines. Captain Tai-hyung made a decision that went against all military protocol. "Pilot Hyunwoo, take us closer to that command ship." "Sir, that is very dangerous," the pilot said.
"If Minho loses control, he could destroy us along with the aliens." "He will not lose control if we help him," the captain said.
"So-young, get to the shuttle bay. I am sending you over there. Are you crazy?" Dr. Jiwoo said. "She will be killed." "No," So-young said firmly. "I promised him I would bring him back. I am going." Against all orders and common sense, So-young climbed into one of the ship's small shuttles. As she prepared to launch, she felt a small hand grab her arm. Hana had followed her and was climbing into the shuttle too. "You cannot go alone, Mommy," the little girl said. "The Lightning Man saved us. Now we have to save him." "It is too dangerous," So-young said. "He needs both of us," Hana said with the simple certainty that only children have. "I can hear him calling for help." There was no time to argue. So-young strapped Hana into the co-pilot seat and launched the shuttle toward the dying alien command ship. As they flew through the debris field, she could see Minho through the hole he had torn in the ship's hull. He was barely human anymore, more like a living star floating in the darkness. They landed in what had once been the ship's hangar bay. The alien crew was either dead or unconscious, overcome by the energy that Minho was releasing. So-young carried Hana through the twisted corridors toward the power core where Minho waited. When they found him, So-young gasped. Minho's body was constantly shifting between solid matter and pure energy. His face was sometimes human, sometimes just light in the shape of a man. His eyes were like blue suns, and when he spoke, his voice echoed from everywhere at once. "You should not be here," he said, and the metal walls around them vibrated with the power in his voice. "I cannot control what I am becoming." "Then we will control it for you," So-young said. She walked toward him slowly, even though every instinct told her to run. "You are not just energy. You are Minho. You are the man who risked everything to save a woman and child he did not even know." "I am forgetting," he said desperately. "I can feel myself becoming something that does not care about people. Something that only cares about power." Hana slipped out of her mother's arms and ran toward Minho. Before So-young could stop her, The little girl reached out and grabbed his hand. "You are still the lightning man," she said simply. "You are still good." The moment Hana touched him, something amazing happened. The wild energy that was consuming Minho suddenly focused, drawn to the pure trust and love of the child. His shifting form began to stabilize, becoming more human and less like a force of nature. "I remember," he whispered, and his voice was almost normal again. "I remember why I wanted to protect you." Soo-young stepped forward and took his other hand. "Come home with us," she said. "Come back to the ship. Come back to us." Together the three of them walked out of the dying alien vessel. Behind them, the entire Valeth fleet drifted powerless in space, their crews alive but their weapons dead. Minho had won the battle, but more importantly, he had won the fight to remain human. As their shuttle flew back toward the new horizon, Hana fell asleep in her mother's arms. Minho sat quietly, his body still glowing faintly but no longer threatening to tear itself apart with raw power. "Thank you," he said to Soo-young, "for coming after me, for not letting me disappear." "I told you I would not let you forget who you are," she said. "I meant it." Minho looked down at the sleeping child and felt something he had almost lost in the storm of energy. Love, simple and human and more powerful than any force in the universe. 3 months after the battle with the Valeth fleet, Minho stood on the observation deck of Kepler Station, watching the sun rise over the planet below. The human military base orbited a beautiful world with blue oceans and green continents, and for the first time in years, he felt truly at peace. His body had changed since that day when he almost lost himself in the storm of power. He still glowed with soft blue light, especially when he was using his abilities, but he looked more human now. His eyes were their normal brown color most of the time, only turning blue when he was working with energy. The metal sheen in his skin had faded to just a slight shimmer that you would only notice if you looked closely. "The doctors say you have stabilized," Soo-young said, coming up behind him with 2 cups of coffee. She handed him one and stood beside him at the window. "Dr. Jiwoo thinks your transformation is complete. How do you feel about that?" Minho asked. He was always worried that his changes would eventually scare her away. "I feel grateful," she said simply. "You are still you, different, but still the man who saved us." Through the window they could see Hana playing in the station's garden with some of the other children from the new horizon. She was laughing as she chased butterflies between the flowers that the station grew for food and air. She had drawn Minho hundreds more pictures over the past 3 months, and now their small apartment was covered with images of the lightning man saving people and fixing broken things. "She wants to be an engineer like you when she grows up," Soo-young said. "She says she wants to fix things and help people just like you do." This made Minho smile. "She would be good at it. She has a kind heart and smart hands." "And what about you?" Soo-young asked. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" It was a joke, but Minho thought about it seriously. "I want to be a father," he said. "And a husband, if you will have me." Soo-young nearly dropped her coffee cup. They had grown close over the past months, working together on the station's terraforming project, but he had never spoken so directly about their future. "Are you asking me to marry you?" she said. "I am asking if you would want to build a life with someone like me," Minho said. "Someone who is not quite human anymore, who glows in the dark and can absorb energy from stars." Soo-young set down her coffee and took his hands in hers. Even now, small sparks of blue light danced between his fingers, but she was not afraid of them anymore. "I fell in love with the man who threw himself between my daughter and death," she said. "Everything else is just details." Before Minho could answer, alarms started ringing throughout the station. They looked at each other with concern. They had heard those alarms too many times before. Admiral Seokjin's voice came over the speakers. "All senior staff to the command center immediately. We have received urgent intelligence about a new Valeth threat." In the command center, the admiral was standing in front of a holographic display showing star charts. He was an older man with gray hair and serious eyes, but Minho could see worry in his expression. "The Valeth Empire is not finished with us," Admiral Seokjin said, as the staff gathered around him. "They are building a revenge fleet, bigger than anything they have sent before. 5,000 ships, maybe more. They want to destroy every human colony in this sector. When will they arrive?" Captain Taehyung asked. He had stayed at Kepler Station to help coordinate the defense of human space. 6 months, maybe less, the admiral said. "But we have discovered something interesting. The battle 3 months ago was broadcast across the galaxy. The story of what Minho did has spread to every human world. He pressed a button and the display changed to show reports from dozens of different planets. Other humans have begun manifesting abilities similar to Minho's, always in moments of great crisis, always when they are trying to protect someone else. A woman on New Sol who can control gravity, a man on Mars colony who can manipulate time, children who can speak directly to computer systems. How is that possible? Dr. Jiwoo asked. We think the transformation is triggered by extreme emotional stress combined with exposure to certain types of energy, the Admiral said. But it only happens to people who are willing to sacrifice themselves for others. It seems that the willingness to give up your own life to save someone else unlocks something in human DNA that was always there, waiting. Minho felt a chill run down his spine. You think I was not the first? We think you were the first to survive it completely, Admiral Seokjin said. The first to gain these abilities and still remain human. Your success has somehow made it easier for others to change without losing themselves. What does this mean for the war? So-young asked. It means humanity is evolving, the Admiral said. We are becoming something new, something that can fight back against empires that have been conquering worlds for thousands of years. But we need to be careful. Power like this can corrupt people if they are not strong enough to handle it. Over the following weeks, Minho worked with the other transformed humans who came to Kepler Station for training. He taught them how to control their abilities, how to use them to help people instead of just destroying enemies. Most importantly, he taught them how to stay connected to their humanity even when the power threatened to carry them away. So-young became his partner in this work, helping to develop techniques for keeping the transformed humans grounded in their human relationships. She had learned more about energy beings than anyone else on the station, and she understood better than most scientists how love and connection could anchor someone in their human identity. One evening, as they worked late in the training facility, Hana came running in with exciting news. Mommy, Lightning Man, come see what I can do. She led them to the garden, where she had been playing with some of the station's repair robots. As they watched, she placed her small hands on a broken robot and closed her eyes in concentration. Blue light, just like Minho's, flowed from her hands into the machine. The robot's eyes lit up and it started moving again. Hana, So-young gasped.
How long have you been able to do that?
Just today, the little girl said proudly. I wanted to fix the robot because it looked sad. And then the light came out of my hands just like the Lightning Man's light. Minho knelt down beside her, his heart pounding. Are you scared? He asked gently. No, Hana said. It feels good. Like hugging someone you love. Dr. Jiwoo ran tests on Hana and confirmed what they all suspected. The little girl was beginning to manifest abilities similar to Minho's, but different in important ways. Where Minho absorbed and redirected energy, Hana seemed to heal and repair things. Her power was gentler, more focused on fixing what was broken rather than fighting what was dangerous. She is the next generation, Dr. Jiwoo explained. Children who grow up around transformed humans may develop abilities naturally, without the trauma that triggered them in adults. That night, as they put Hana to bed, she asked Minho a question that made him think about the future in a new way. Will I be able to help you save people? She asked. Maybe someday, Minho said. But right now your job is to be a kid, to play and learn and grow up strong and kind. Will you still be here when I grow up? She asked. Minho looked at So-young, who was sitting on the edge of the bed. Where else would I go? He said. You are my family now. I will always be here to protect you. Promise? Hana said. Promise, Minho said, and he meant it with every atom of his transformed body. As they left Hana's room, So-young took his hand. So what happens next? She asked. We get married, Minho said. We raise our daughter. We help other people learn to control their new abilities. And when the Valeth come back, we show them that humanity is not the same species they tried to destroy. Our daughter, So-young said, smiling. If that is what you want, Minho said, I love her like she is already mine. She is yours, So-young said. She has been yours since the moment you saved her life. 6 months later, Admiral Seokjin received a message from the approaching Valeth fleet demanding humanity's surrender. His response was simple. Come and try. When the aliens arrived, they found something they had not expected. Humanity had not just survived, they had evolved. Minho led a fleet of ships crewed by transformed humans, each one capable of abilities that defied the Valeth's understanding of physics. But more importantly, these new humans fought not for conquest or revenge, but to protect the people they loved. And that, more than any superpower, made them unstoppable. The war that followed would be remembered as the moment when humanity stopped being victims and became guardians of the galaxy. And it all started with one man who chose to shield a woman and her child with his body, and the family that refused to let him face his transformation alone.